Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers of social media, also known as surviving dystopia in 2026. If you recognize any of the books on the screen, sometimes social media can be like a dystopia in these books. So we want to talk through that with you. Okay, so what is social media? Take a moment to think. So social media is a way for people to connect, communicate, and share information online. So some things that you may have heard of are like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, different applications and websites that you can connect with people on. So some good and bad things about using social media. Again, you can take a second to think about this. So some of the pros or the good things about using social media are that you can stay connected with friends and family, especially if you live far away or have people in your life that you want to connect to that you don't see very often. You can also be creative by creating your own pictures, videos, and posts. And you can also learn about current events that are going on in the world, so you know what's going on in the outside world. Some of the bad things or cons, however, are that it can drain your time, especially if you've ever checked your screen time on your phone. You might see that many hours of the day are spent on your phone and you might not even realize. Also, privacy and safety. Sometimes people don't have good intentions who are online, which jeopardizes your safety. And sometimes your privacy is invaded by things that might be posted. Also, finally, cyberbullying and teasing, especially because some social media is anonymous, people feel that they could make comments that are not nice and are bullying. And so sometimes this happens more on social media than in person. So something that is, as I'm sure you've heard, kind of up and coming and is becoming more and more prevalent is artificial intelligence. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Artificial intelligence is the use of computers to do things that human brains can do, like talk, think, write, draw, and learn. So you'll see now Google has an AI search bar where it'll generate kind of like all the information from web pages and put it into a compact space that is helped with AI and computers that are smart enough to kind of sort through the information and present it to you. And you've also, I'm sure, heard of ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can do so much, such as generating the photo you see in the middle. And it can also create very human-like dialogue and poems and really anything that you can think of. And it's still continuously learning and will probably become even more capable in the future.
So next we're going to go over some AI images and we're going to practice discussing which one is a real image and which one is AI generated. So first for this picture we see on screen, what do you notice about this image that makes it look AI? I'll give you a few seconds to think. All right, so we see here that this image is generated by AI specifically because in the top circle, the cell phone is cut in half, and in the bottom circle, there's a person with extra fingers, and the phone logo is fake. So these are signs that the AI has generated this image and it's not a real image created by humans. So images that are generated from AI that are shared on social media can be very misleading. So here are some tips to tell them apart from real pictures. So if images are too smooth, if the people in these images have too many fingers or toes or other body parts, and if there are any items in these pictures that don't make any sense, those can help you tell that this is an image generated by AI. So now let's compare real or fake images. So here's our first example. These are both images of the Northern Lights. And between the left and right pictures, which do you think is real and which do you think is AI generated? So the correct answer is the one on the left is AI generated. You can specifically see that there's this wrinkled texture where the northern lights are. And there's a lot of like additional colors in the reflection that shouldn't be there. It wouldn't make sense. Whereas the one on the right is the real image because the reflection on the water is a lot more accurate of what's in the sky. Here's our second example. We can see a rocket being launched in the sky. So between the left and right one, which is real and which is AI generated. All right, so the one on the left is the real one. You can see how this shuttle image looks a lot more detailed, whereas the one on the right, the AI generated one, seems a lot more simple, and it also looks very symmetrical and it doesn't look like there's a lot of detail in it. And here's our third example. These are both images from the 1900s women's suffrage movement. And so between the left and right one, which do you think is real and which do you think is AI generated? All right. So here's the answers. The left one is the AI generated one. You can tell that all the signs that are being held by the ladies here have ineligible text. Um, and they're kind of blurry as well as having blurred hair. Whereas in the real one, all of the words in the signs are legible. And even though the quality of the entire image is not that great, it's kind of uniform throughout. Whereas on the left one, only some parts of the image are blurred.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the relationship between social media and AI. So, social media can be a useful tool or a fun way to share photos and info. And similarly, AI can be a useful tool too, but we can't always believe what we see or hear. So, it can be harmful to use social media too much or engage in an unsafe manner. And whenever you're on social media, especially if you're getting your news from social media, just keep in mind that whatever is shared on social media could have also been generated by AI, and so it might not necessarily be true. So, can you think of some ways in which social media or AI can be unsafe? Okay, so now we're going to walk through some social media scenarios, and I want you to think, what would you do if you were in this scenario? So read the question, think about what you would do, and think about why you would take that approach. Scenario 1. You are scrolling on Instagram and see that you received a DM. When you check to see if one of your friends sent you something, you see that you have a message from an account with no profile picture and you don't recognize the name. The message says that they are one of your classmates and that they are asking for your phone number. So, what would you do? Would you respond and say that you aren't sure who they are and ask why they want your phone number? Would you not respond? Would you give them your phone number or would you block them? And when you're thinking about what you would do, I want you to think about why and what might be the best approach to this problem or what you would recommend your friends do if they were in this situation. Okay, scenario 2. So, a friend of yours recently got an Instagram account, and you've noticed that she has been spending a lot of her time scrolling through her feed every day. She has been showing you pictures of people she is following and keeps comparing herself to them. You also notice that her mood has been down every time she spends time on Instagram looking at these photos. So, what would you do? Next time she shows you a picture, would you tell her to unfollow the account? Would you not say anything because it's not your business and you don't want your friend to be upset with you? Or next time she shows the picture, would you ask to do something else that you both enjoy instead of scrolling? Or would you remind her that many things on the internet aren't true or real, so comparing isn't fair? Scenario 3. Bobby was scrolling on TikTok and came across an account on his For You page that was spreading gossip about Bobby's classmates at school. The account was anonymous, so no one knew who was posting on it. The posts are unkind and untrue, but Bobby noticed that some of the posts were getting a lot of views. So, what should Bobby do? Should Bobby keep scrolling and ignore the page? Or report the account to TikTok for bullying and spam? Or should he tell a trusted adult, like a parent or teacher, about the page? Or should he follow the page to see what else gets posted? So, in general, in some of these scenarios, it's a good idea to think about what would be the safest option. So, for the first scenario, I would definitely recommend not giving out your phone number to anyone you don't know, even if they say that they know you or that they're a classmate, because you don't know who else is behind the screen and they could just be saying that and it could actually not be true. Additionally, if you see any cyberbullying happening online, like things, comments being made that aren't kind or aren't true, it's always best to tell a trusted adult or to report the site to the social media company so that it can get taken down and monitored. So, some healthy social media habits that are good for everyone to practice are to think before you post. Always remember that if you're talking about someone, there's a real person behind the screen whose feelings might be hurt by what you said. So just be conscious and aware of that and think, how would I feel if someone said this about me? Don't believe everything you see, especially because there is a rise in AI generated photos or videos. Just be skeptical if you're seeing something that doesn't seem like it could be true. Use privacy settings to try and prevent people from getting access to private information about you, such as your address or your phone number, and set time limits and boundaries because spending too much time on social media can make you not feel good about yourself and can make you focus more on online connections rather than focusing more on the connections that you have in your real life.
Okay, based on what we learned in the previous slides, I want to do something more fun and engaging. So we're gonna go on a mission. It's gonna be spot the bot. So we have two pictures here. Let's imagine there are two profile pictures. Now, judging based on just the pictures themselves, I want you to let me know or just think to yourself, which one, which one is the which one is the bot? Okay. Now, before we move forward, you may have noticed the picture on the right. It's much more polished. It's much more clean. And the one on the left, it has a clean background. So it could either be both. So let's keep going. We're gonna dig into this more, and we're gonna look at the the username, and as well as the followers. So you can see the picture on the left, skater underscore Alden 12. He has 142 followers and 185 people that he's following. And the picture on the right only has 12 followers and 5,200 following. Does that bring up any concerns? Now, the bigger concern is that the picture on the right, it only has 12 followers compared to 5,200 following. So that should be a red flag. Now we're going to look at the bio. The left says, I hate homework, New York native, don't DM if you're weird. And the bio on the right says, looking for new friends, heart, follow me for a special surprise gift. Now, does this bring up any concerns? Now, there are several red flags. For one, on the right, there are spelling mistakes on friends and gift. And then there's also soliciting. So they're looking for followers and they want to give a gift back. And majority of the time, no one really freely gives a gift. So this should bring up some concerns on following this person or even reaching out to this person. So now let's say you made a mistake of following them and now you're looking at their posts. So you look at the picture on the left, it has 15 posts, some random pictures in a park, a picture of a dog, and a group shot with friends. And a profile on the right, they only have one post. It's high quality, it's a professional model photo with a polished background. Now that should bring up more concerns for the profile on the right. It's in a highly controlled environment, polished background, and there's a chance that this could be a bot. So if you think at the end that the profile on the right is a bot, then most likely you're right. But can we for certain say that the profile on the left is not a bot? Not necessarily, no. There will always be an inherent risk that any profile, regardless of if they have red flags or they don't, they may still have, there may still be some dangers associated with them. So let's go to the next one. We have two profile pictures here. Now, which one brings up more concerns for you? Just looking on based on the pictures. Now, the picture on the left, it looks more real, if that's what you're thinking. It's in a stadium. It has a real background, or what seems like a real background. And the picture on the right, it looks highly polished. It's a professional picture that you would see in like a taken in a photo studio. And there's a clean background. So you may have concerns with the picture on the right. Now let's look at the username and the following. Now the followers, the picture on the left has 23 followers and 108 following, while the picture on the right has 11,000 followers and 302 following. Does that bring up any concerns? Now you may still be suspicious of the picture on the right. Why does it have so many followers? Or maybe you may be suspicious of the picture on the left now. Why does it have so few followers? Now let's look at the bio. Now, this should bring up some serious concerns. The profile on the left, it says, "Happy mom, I'm giving away free Roblox for my first 100 followers." And the profile on the right says, "Chief Finance Officer at Meta Platforms Inc., best-selling author of Road to Success 101 Tips." Does this bring up any concerns? So now the picture gets a little more blurry. We don't quite know which one we should be more concerned about. We thought the right picture had a lot of red flags, but now we look at the bio. This person is most likely an executive. They're an author. So it would make sense that they will have a highly polished profile picture. And the profile on the left, their bio is highly concerning. They try to utilize their position as a mom to create an emotional attachment. And they're also promising free Roblox to my first 100 followers. Now, that's a serious red flag you should be concerned about. Now, let's say you made the mistake of following both of them, and we're looking at their posts. The profile on the left only has 3 posts. It's a screenshot of Roblox, an Xbox, and a flashy bright yellow graphic that says free rewards in big bold 3D letters. And the photo on the and the profile on the right has 45 posts, and it's a mix of professional and personal photos. Now the profile on the right should be more realistic. It should give you less concerns. While the profile on the left, it only has 3 pictures, no pictures of their own, and they're all about gaming, free rewards. So you can definitely tell they're trying to target the younger population. And that's a big concern. So now, would you say which one is most likely bot? You could say the profile on the left is most likely the bot, but can we say the profile on the right is a real person? Not necessarily. It's all behind social media, and there's still an inherent risk that the profile on the right could still be a bot. So what is the takeaway from our presentation? You can never be too careful. So if you have any concerns, it's better to stay away from interacting with unknown profiles than to take the risk of reaching out to them. And that's our end of the presentation.